Hello, my name is Kate Cavanagh,
And I'm Jonathan Chan.
and we are here today to help you develop an understanding of the major concepts and the interconnections of such concepts discussed in the 9 modules for this Global Health and Technology course. The major ideas for the course are illustrated here by this concept map and were devised by the collective efforts of both Jonathan and myself. However, I will be doing the majority of the talking for the sake of time in this brief video. For our concept map, both John and I chose to utilize the different modules of the course as the main concepts. As you can see, everything stems from the foundation of this course, the concept of health technology. Additionally, as we go up in module number 1 through 9, the lines that connect each module for the core to the core get progressively longer. This provides a good visualization of how the topics from each module build upon one another and ultimately create a comprehensive picture of global health and technology. We started the quarter with defining the concepts of a healthcare system versus healthcare system, 2 words, as basic as this sounds. Understanding such concepts were pivotal for our understanding of the concepts presented throughout the remainder of the course. Aside from such definitions, we also began the quarter with establishing our vision of health technology and medical devices as a whole. Understanding the history of health technology evolution and the formation of global device markets, especially in resource-scarce settings, gave us a backdrop with which we could build upon for the remainder of the course. As the weeks progressed, we began to branch out and link specific health systems and their processes to their individualized health technologies. We started to more fully discuss the populations that are affected by health technologies and the impact that such technologies can have on the health outcomes for these populations. Specifically in the map, you can see geographically how close these concepts of modules 1 and 2 are to the core of our map, which denotes the foundational importance of the topics. As we move outwards and towards the section of the map that discusses modules 3 and 4, we can see the complexity of global health technologies come to light. Assessing the need for medical devices and planning for the procurement and implementation of such devices are necessary but intricate processes. Looking at the map, we can see that understanding the essential health technology package approach and the role of health technology assessments is imperative, and that they are also very closely linked. Optimizing approaches for assessing, planning, deployment, and utilization of medical technologies is likely to improve the strength of an overall health system. Another important thing to note is that while planning for and obtaining medical devices is important, having a strict regulation system in place for the management of such devices is just as, if not more, important. This brings us to the region of the concept map that illustrates modules 5 and 6. As Sorensen discussed in one of our course readings, medical device regulation is necessary to safeguard public health and ensure that high quality and effective technologies reach the patients that need them. This process of medical technology regulation has both short and long-term actions that need to be accounted for. In the map, you can see that some of these short-term actions include determining essential medical equipment, listing essential regulations, having an open communication channel for interoperability, and the equalization of device treatment and utilization. Some of the long-term actions, on the other hand, include continuously updating the essential device list, ensuring constant system development for support data or evidence, establishing post-market surveillance, and utilizing a regulatory framework such as GHTF. With core regulation concepts under our belt, it was becoming more and more clear that the sustainability of health technology systems was determined by the collective effort of the underlying approaches discussed. Strong regulation would be nothing without a strong procurement system, which would be nothing without strong technology planning, which would be nothing without strong technology assessment approaches, etc., etc. And the strength of each of these processes is reliant on things such as stakeholder communication and accountability, the establishment of a sound legislative framework, the defining of responsibilities, the responsiveness of a region to their patient population, professionalism in performance, increasing managerial capacity, transparency in policies and procedures, and an appeal to address grievances. This large list of essential core values in the interworkings of a health technology system is what grounded us again in Module 6 and gave us the appropriate frame of reference to continue to build our knowledge in the remainder of the course. As one can imagine, such a system of health technology is also ever-changing, which leads us to the next section of the concept map, health technology innovation. While I have just given you a list of what promotes health technology system sustainability, such a system can only truly be sustainable if it adapts to the modern world and works to forecast innovations for the future. In Module 7, we really can see how health technology is never perfect. Improvements can always be made, whether they are improvements in affordability, appropriateness, safety, quality, accessibility, etc. Just like every person is individual in character, they are also an individual in their medical device needs. This individualism aspect of health technology really adds to the complexity of global health technology and drives home the need for flexibility and constant upgrading, questioning, and researching. As we learned in Week 7, the barriers that account for the large disparity in medical device usage need to be uncovered to improve health outcomes on a global scale, and that will only happen with the constant work of nations to improve not only the medical devices themselves, but also the health systems that surround them. Noting that health technology systems is an ever-changing event, it only makes sense that health technology would have a life cycle of its own, and the management of that life cycle was the main topic discussed in Module 8, which you can see here in the concept map. In the same manner that medical devices are innovated, they eventually reach their end of life and are changed or taken out of production. The emphasis of life cycle management is on the management aspect specifically, as improper management of devices can lead to hazardous use of equipment that can also lead to poor patient outcomes. In addition to understanding the life cycle process, it is important to be aware of how that process changes depending on the region of focus. In resource-poor regions especially, it is imperative to be as efficient as possible in managing medical devices, as funding and personnel, among other things, are limited. Finally, if we move to Module 9, this brings us to the culminating topic of the course, the topic that brings all of what we have learned together and brings to light the consequences of all of the aforementioned health technology processes. That topic is the understanding of health technologies and how they impact community wellness as a whole. Essentially, this final analysis aims to understand the circumstances of medical technology and uncover its values in healthcare with the use of comparative research to determine optimization. This area of the concept map is the furthest out from the foundational core of the map, but that does not mean it is any less important. Instead, we like to think of it as the end result of all the hard work that we have just described within the other 8 modules. As mentioned before, without even one piece of this puzzle, the whole system would fail, and that is what makes the topic of global health and technology so interesting. While much of what we have discussed is complicated, as we can see by the intricate web-like nature of our concept map, the overarching goal of this discussion remains simple. Health technology is created with the intention of improving patient health outcomes on a grand scale. By continuously working to improve health technology and the systems that control it, we can ultimately extend patient lifespans and improve the quality of life for many vulnerable people in the global population. Thank you for listening to our presentation today, and we hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.